This is breaking news from Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Good morning, I'm Renee Simmerower with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. We are getting ready to take you live to a news conference today where federal officials are set to announce what they are calling a global law enforcement action. Officials have not told us what this law enforcement action entails, so we will be finding out that along with all of you that are watching our stream. We expect to hear from FBI Special Agent in charge amongst other officials. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
You can go around that door and come right in there. You'll see Michelle. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. There's going to be numerous people standing, and they will tell you who they are. The first speaker is going to be the Acting United States Attorney, Christopher CHIOU, CHRISTOPHER, and the second speaker will be Special Agent in Charge Aaron ROUSE, AARON ROUSE. Go ahead and get started.
Morning. We good? Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. We're here to announce a significant multi-agency global law enforcement investigation called Operation Moneymaker, targeting an alleged drug trafficking and money laundering conspiracy. At the start, I want to make perfectly clear that every defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Everything we're talking about today are mere allegations that have not been proven yet in court. On behalf of the United States Attorney's Office, thank you to our law enforcement partners who've been running this investigation and carrying out arrests over the past week. Without their skill and dedication, today wouldn't be possible. In addition to the FBI, law enforcement agencies from 7 other countries have worked hard on this investigation. We're grateful that their representatives have taken the time to travel to Las Vegas and join us in person today. With us are representatives from the Israeli National Police, the National Crime Agency from the United Kingdom, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Colombian National Police, the Australian Federal Police, the Organismo de Investigación Judicial from Costa Rica, and the Romanian government. Through close collaboration, including sharing intelligence and resources, law enforcement targeted the alleged drug trafficking and money laundering ring. In separate federal indictments, the United States Attorney's Office has charged 6 defendants with over 100 counts. 3 of the defendants allegedly conspired to distribute cocaine. They're Mr. Amar, Mr. Arayan, and Mr. Frieden. They're facing drug trafficking and money laundering charges. 3 other defendants, Ms. True, Mr. Kadoshin, and Mr. Malka, allegedly wrote checks to co-conspirators in exchange for cash constituting illegal drug proceeds. They're facing money laundering charges. I'm going to turn things over now to FBI Special Agent in Charge, Aaron Rouse. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Chris. Today's a good day for law enforcement around the world. We're pleased to announce a successful international operation 6 years in the making, which has dismantled and disrupted a major transnational organized crime network, resulting in dozens of arrests, with more to come. This operation was a coordinated effort between the FBI, other federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. And through our extensive legal attaché program, more than 30 countries, some of whom are represented here today, participated and assisted. This is an exceptional example of a successful global partnership combating organized crime. Thanks to the sharing of intelligence and resources, we have had a significant impact on such things as the trafficking of illicit drugs and disrupted the money laundering mechanism that funds illegal enterprises around the world. The success against this criminal enterprise is significant because the unique characteristic of this group was to serve as a cog in the wheel for other criminal groups, such as violent South American drug trafficking organizations, as well as Asian and Russian criminal enterprises. The reach of these criminal enterprises stretch around the world, but all impact the United States. Disrupting this group has had the added benefit of negatively impacting all of those who are doing business with them. This operation should serve as a warning to other criminal organizations that regardless of where they operate, the FBI and our outstanding law enforcement partners around the world will root them out and bring them to justice. Thank you. We'll take some questions.
How is this connected to Las Vegas?
The case emanated from Las Vegas, and through that it was developed into an international operation.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
Exactly how many arrests were made here?
We have dozens with more to come.
Is dozens?
Multiple
more than
dozens.
100?
Not yet.
How many charges, Mr. Cho, how many charges have been filed and in what courts?
So far, sir, in federal indictments, we have 6 defendants with over 100 charges.
And are they filed here in Las Vegas?
Yes, they are, sir.
Can you expound on the operation, what they were doing, the summary?
Well, we're not going to get into a lot of detail because in keeping with long-standing FBI traditions, we do our talking in court and prove the charges there. Because as Chris mentioned, the defendants have a right to due process, and we're firm believers in that. Succinctly, I'll say that this began with some great case agent work on information about money laundering, and it spiraled from there. The interactions that were discovered over a 6-year period involving more than 30 countries, and the ones that are represented here today had significant roles in helping to counter this activity. And I want to highlight, folks, that this was an international operation. There's operations that have been taking place in all of these countries, whether it is for search warrants, arrests, or further information that's been gathered in support of this case. And the case isn't over. We expect that there's going to be a lot more before we're done. But this was an appropriate time, given the level and the nature of the international operation, to make you aware.
As we define the scope of this, can you tell us when the first arrests were made?
They've been taking place in small order for a while now, but I'm not going to go into a specific date. It's not
You mentioned 6 arrests. Are those U.S. citizens? Have anybody been charged in other countries as well?
Those are indictments, and the charges are pending in the other countries.
Are they U.S. citizens?
No.
How much money are you talking about? You said that 3 of the defendants wrote checks for cash. How much money are you talking about here?
We're talking about the money laundering operations in the millions of dollars. And again, specifics, folks, are going to have to wait to come out into court because we have discovery obligations that we're going to meet, and there's going to be a lot of activity between now and the trial date.
What about the level of drugs? How much cocaine are you talking about for the defendants who are charged?
We're not going to get into specifics, but it was significant amounts.
Could you give, without giving too many specifics, could you give us some idea of either how this started or kind of the nature of the allegations here, just so we have an idea of how this allegedly worked?
So there was a report of a possible money laundering operation that was taking place emanating here in Las Vegas. Obviously, money laundering is nothing new to this division, and our investigations are extensive, and they do take quite a bit of time. From that investigation, further information was revealed to identify this as a cog in the wheel network. And when I say cog in the wheel, I'm talking about, think about how this cog supports multiple other criminal organizations. When you take the cog out, the spokes fall. And so the disruption and the significant impact that this operation has had cannot be overstated.
And I have to ask him in the nuts and bolts, of these 6 people who are indicted, have all of them been arrested?
Yes,
And they are in the United States?
yes,
Are they in Las Vegas?
yes.
But none of those 6 are U.S. citizens.
No, that's not correct.
Are there U.S. citizens, people of interest in this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Is cryptocurrency involved in it?
I was answering a question that Ken had because a lot of the stuff that was international, they are not U.S. citizens. The people here, many of the people here are.
Many of them.
Does that clear it up a little bit? Okay, good.
So of the 6, how many are U.S. citizens?
6.
Thank you.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, was cryptocurrency involved in any of this? In the laundering of cryptocurrency?
We're not going to get into that right now.
It would be helpful to know how this came to your attention. Is it through?
Again, Ken, this was a matter of, it's how the FBI gets all its cases. Somebody comes forward with information and about a potential violation of criminal law, a violation of terrorist law, or somebody that's here against operating for a foreign power. That information comes into the FBI. Case agent will work that case, will involve additional resources as necessary, and it's like every other case. But this one's just, the impact of this is so huge and so impressive. And this is a huge victory. I can't understate that.
We understand that some entities are obligated to report monetary transactions of some other, perhaps, you could perhaps tell us whether that's how this came to your attention or if it was a voluntary tip from something. And then finally, just as I hate to add compound question, but did this originate through the casino industry?
No.
You just answered all 3 questions we want to know.
There you go.
Did it come to you by?
Listen, we wouldn't be in business very long if we gave up who gave us information. And so we have to respect the safety and privacy of that information. We respect that very much. And this is why we're in this position 6 years later, is because we stay true to our word. And we are protecting the sources of information until such time as they have to be revealed in a court of law.
So it was not through the casino industry?
That's what I said, yes.
Are the indictments sealed, or is it something where?
I believe the indictments have been unsealed, but I'd have to confirm.
For those of us not in this,
Sure.
you see this from a different lens because you've been doing this
Sure.
for 6 years. How significant or unusual is it to have 9 countries involved here? How big is this operation compared to what you typically do?
The FBI is always doing international operations. We have fantastic partnerships. That's one of the biggest things that I'm proud of here is look at, on display right here, is a full measure of the sum of that partnership and how successful we've been. This operation could not have taken place, it would not have the far-reaching effects without the partnerships of our international partners. And let us not forget the other federal agencies like DEA and HSI that assisted in this investigation. 14 FBI field offices were involved in this, as well as multiple legal attaché offices, at least 30 legal attaché offices that were involved. And so this was a huge coordinated effort. It is, whenever you have an opportunity to take out a international organized crime group, this is a huge win. It cannot be overstated. And the only thing I can liken it to is, that people might remember, is the takedown of all 5 families that took place in New York several years ago. This is of that nature. The impact of this is probably further simply because of all the organizations that relied on the organization we just took apart.
Were these known criminal organizations that you discovered from this one money laundering tip? Or did you discover, was this one or multiple?
It's multiple, well, the organization we've just dismantled is one, but the impact is going to be on multiple. And like I said, there's more to come. This case isn't over. Our arrests aren't over. Our search warrants aren't over. There's going to be more.
If you've had 6, sorry, one last thing for me. You've had 6 indictments so far, you say more to come. Why is now the right time to have us out in the public with the...
Because of the international footprint that we just made available yesterday with all of our operations, which were coordinated worldwide, we knew that there was going to be significant interest and from multiple news outlets, and we wanted to make sure that we provided you with some facts. And also, this is an opportunity for us to say to all of those people who've been contacted by us that cooperation is your best bet.
For the defendants who, you said their defendants are all U.S. citizens, were they all arrested in the U.S.?
Yes.
And are they all from Las Vegas?
No.
Are any of them from Las Vegas?
Yes.
How many are from Las Vegas?
I don't have a number right in front of me.
What other parts of the country are they from?
We'll give you those specifics later. Okay.
International indictments as well, or just the 6 U.S. citizens?
Well, we don't control the international courts, so each one of the countries represented will take the appropriate action according to their laws. And in some cases, this is going to result in arrests, we believe. And in some cases, it's just going to be searches. There's more to come on this. And
Was this crime organization centrally located in one country? Is there one that you can point to and say this is probably the source of the activity?
that's a difficult thing to say. We can say that the case emanated from here, and a lot of the roads led through Las Vegas.
So you're flanked by Israel, United Kingdom, Canada, Colombia, Australia, Costa Rica, Romania. Are we to glean from that that this operation was primarily centered in those countries? And if not, would you please tell us what other countries you would say it was centered in?
I would say that everyone represented here had a significant role in the case and in the operations. Recall that this case, although it emanated from the Las Vegas division and spiraled out into contacts with other international organizations, some of which were already well aware and were looking for additional information on the very people that we were able to impact. So this was a great information sharing.
So these countries represented here today represent places where this was centered as well as elsewhere?
I would say affected or impacted, yes.
It's an investigation 6 years in the making. Are you at the process where you're ready to wrap it up, determine?
We believe there's more work to be done, as I indicated. We believe there's going to be more arrests. We believe that there's going to be additional activities overseas. But the impact and the fact that these organizations now know that their hub is gone and they're going to, this isn't like changing phone services. You can't just go into a Rolodex or on your contacts list and find a money laundering organization that can do what this organization did. And so we're gratified in the fact that this impact is far-reaching.
Would you call Las Vegas a hub for this criminal activity?
I would call it for this case, yes. You see, the thing is, folks, that with money laundering, wherever large volumes of money is transferred, there are always going to be money laundering organizations that are going to try and take advantage of that. And fortunately for us, because of the partnerships in the community, the partnerships in corporate America, and the partnerships in law enforcement, we're able to compare a lot of information and address the money laundering efforts by various groups on a more expeditious basis. This one was peculiar in as much as we kept finding more, and we kept finding and adding more countries in and involving them in the information that we had, and they were very good about sharing the information that they had. Everybody should be very proud of the work that was done on this case.
Is this going to affect any businesses in Las Vegas, the future investigations here? You mentioned the 5 families, the size of this thing that brings the finances of this size and scope.
You know, I think that the activities that are about to follow will answer that. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so you just heard from Aaron Rouse. He's the special agent in charge here of the Las Vegas FBI division. You also heard from Christopher CHIOU, also a special agent in this international investigation on drugs and money laundering. They're calling it Operation Moneymaker, and they're saying that the hub, the very center of this case, all emanated from Las Vegas. So here's a couple things to take into consideration. Again, this is millions of dollars they're talking about, and then specifically they talked about drug trafficking of cocaine. And again, they said this was a transnational investigation. Countries like Colombia, Costa Rica, Romania, Israel, all these countries that they talked about, over 30, they said that could possibly be involved. You heard Agent Rouse said this isn't over and that there are multiple countries that they plan to continue to investigate what's going on. So during this investigation, they said that they have 6 indictments, 6 defendants with over 100 federal counts, some of them of which are from Las Vegas, but all of them being U.S. citizens, 3 of them for distribution of cocaine. And again, he mentioned that this is emanated from Las Vegas, and this being the very center based on the information they were given that then has spread into almost 30 different countries where they'll be making more and more arrests. They kept their information very under wraps. They didn't want to put too much out there. As he said, this investigation will continue. But he says this is one of the largest cases that they have had in years, and that this is super significant as well. One of our reporters asked if this came through the casino industry, and he stated no. But more information will be coming from the FBI Las Vegas field office on Operation Moneymaker. And of course, we will have more on this story online at lvrj.com, and we will have an update on all of today's events for you this evening at 7 p.m. You can also find us on our free mobile app on your smartphone to get breaking news alerts just like this sent straight to your phone. And of course, you can find us on Roku, Apple TV, and all of your favorite digital platforms. I'm Renee Summerhour. Thank you for joining us.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.